Today you're going to be doing a read-along about American citizenship. It's really important that you follow along and that you pause to take notes when you can. I will try my best to stop and point out important information for you and make sure that you're writing down things that are necessary. If there's something that I have not pointed out that you think you should write down, please do so. Remember, you can pause this video at any time. You can always go backwards, and you have the book in front of you. Let's go ahead and begin, starting at the top of the page, on page 247 in chapter 12. In the introduction to this book, you learned what a citizen is, a legally recognized member of a nation like the United States. Such citizenship brings with it obligations, responsibilities, and rights. After the Civil War, leaders in Congress wanted to make it clear that all Americans, including the freed slaves, were U.S. citizens with the same rights as other citizens. This principle was established by the 14th Amendment. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. This amendment made it clear that there were actually two paths to U.S. citizenship: one, by birth, or two, by becoming a citizen through the naturalization process. Here is where I would pause if I were you and write down the 14th Amendment and the two paths to becoming a U.S. citizen. Once you've done this, please restart the video. All right, in the middle, American citizenship with the heading Birthright Citizenship. In fact, there are even two ways to become an American citizen at birth, known as birthright citizenship. The law of soil is any person born on American soil is automatically an American citizen. Take a second to think about this aside from what we just read. If you're living in any territory, any Air Force base, any Army base, anywhere around the world that the United States claims is their own, and you're born there, you are born by law of soil. Okay, so that's how that kind of works. Let's look at the other definition. The law of blood is a baby born in another country is still an American citizen at birth if both parents are American citizens, or if one parent is an American citizen who is recently living in the United States. If the father, but not the mother, is an American citizen and the parents are not married, special rules will apply. For the child to qualify for U.S. citizenship, the father has to provide convincing evidence of fatherhood. So, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated, but as long as your mother is a U.S. citizen, there's no question. It is when your father is a U.S. citizen, but your mother is not. Usually the United States will still recognize you as long as they can prove who the father actually was. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn our page to 248 and we'll keep reading. We're going to skip these big boxes that appear. In this book, there are practice questions. We're going to go ahead and go past that, and we're not going to worry about what that has to do with. So let's start with the heading Naturalization down at the bottom. The 14th Amendment provides a second pathway to citizenship called naturalization. This is the process by which someone who does not have U.S. citizenship at birth becomes a U.S. citizen. Those who acquire citizenship through this process are known as the naturalized citizens. Think back to that definition from the 14th Amendment. So we talked about who are born in the United States, and now we're talking about who is naturalized in the United States. As early as the Constitutional Convention in 1787, Americans were already thinking of future immigrants coming to the United States and seeking citizenship. Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution gave Congress the power to establish an uniform rule of naturalization. We're going to go ahead and stop here because your whole next unit is on naturalization in the United States. So you're going to find out more about this later next week when you get your next activity list. Remember, you need to be thinking of ways to help these refugees who have entered our country. Remember, that is our task statement. Is there a way to incorporate the definition of a citizen into your proposed plan? You really need to be thinking of these things as you go through each activity.